welcome to episode 22 of Ina Knits. This is my podcast about my passions for yarn and knitting. And my name is Ina, and I'm coming to you from my cabin today, which is situated in the central Norway in the mountains. So I'm here for the day only, and just enjoying myself. I have been knitting, and I thought I would use the opportunity to record a podcast episode. I actually filmed like half an episode 1 week ago, but I couldn't find the time to complete the recordings, and frankly now I can't remember what I showed you and what I said and what I didn't say. So I just figured it would be easier for me to start all over again and do the entire episode here today. So I'm struggling a little bit with the sunshine because it's coming in super low on the horizon, but I think we will be okay. So I might just need to do some small adjustments if the sun for some reason is coming in and just into my glasses. Should I take them off today or not? Is this annoying to you, all the glare? I hope not. Well, I think we just need to go roll with it. So, well, it has been almost a full month since my past episode, and well, main reason for that is that I've been doing the series of hygge vlogs, my little, project called 1 month of hygge, just to try and capture everything that was nice and positive and that I enjoyed during the past month. And I put together 4 little vlog episodes for you to enjoy, and I'm so happy to see that a lot of you were enjoying those episodes, and I've gotten so much fantastic feedback on that project, and it seems like many of you had a nicer November month, and you got some ideas how to emphasize the nice things, and that November could be a lovely month after all, and not so dark and dull and almost depressive. And so thank you for all those lovely comments, and I appreciate it so very much. And I also got a large number of new subscribers to the channel due to that vlog series. So a very warm welcome to all of you new ones, and of course welcome back to my older subscribers. I'm very happy that you are spending time with me today. Yes, I will be putting up 1 more of those hygge vlogs because we are not completely done with November yet, but in only 3 days we will reach 1st of December, and I have been asked by quite a few if I will be doing Vlogmas this year, and unfortunately the answer is yeah. Well, I won't be doing Vlogmas as the 1 episode a day kind of format. That is not working for me. But I will definitely be putting up a couple of episodes like the hygge vlogs so that you can see how we spend December and how we decorate and bake and do cozy Advent Advent stuff as a family. So that will be coming up during December. So stay tuned for that if you are interested in such things. I do have some show notes this time. I have been winging the past 2 episodes, so I thought I for once should be a bit more organized because I have a lot to talk through today, and I don't want to miss anything. So I think we will just jump into the knitting now, and I have some finished objects for you, I'm happy to say, and the first one is the sweater I'm wearing. It's the Arboreal sweater, and you guys, I'm so happy with this sweater. It couldn't be more perfect, both size wise and the color combination is just how I wanted it to turn out. So this is a pattern by Jennifer Steingass. She has a company, I believe, called Knit Love Wool. And it is a DK weight sweater. It is knit top down. And you got this beautiful you got this beautiful color work yoke. And it makes it so inspiring and fun to knit. And you know, once you're finished with the top part, it's just stockinette and you are done in no time. So really enjoyed knitting this sweater. And Jennifer Steingass, she has several of these sweaters with kind of similar construction, top down and color work yokes with different patterns. And I think it needs to be at least one more of those sweaters. I have been knitting with a DK weight yarn that I purchased in Edinburgh. Well, now we have the sunlight directly on the sweater, so I think it looks a bit more bright than it actually is. It's quite like, I would call it like a red wine color, but perhaps it's a little bit more pink or purplish than that. I just recently discovered that I think Amy from Stranded Dye Works, she had put up an episode a couple of weeks back, and then she talked about this very same yarn and the very same colorway that she had been buying in a yarn fair just recently, and she spoke about the color as a plum color, so maybe that's a better description than red wine, I don't know. And for the pattern or the contrast color, I used a fingering weight yarn, and that was a Lolodidit in the Hippo for Mom colorway. And if I try to go a bit closer, you can probably see that the light gray here is speckled. So when you get close enough, you can definitely see some blues and pinks and purples and almost blacks. So I think that is so super fun to have that effect. And because that was a fingering weight, I held that yarn double. And that yarn was gifted to me from Meg, who is Wool and Cookies podcast, or has the Wool and Cookies podcast. And so that makes it super special for me, you know. Lolo's favorites. DyeNinja High Twist Merino DK, all about Eve. And because the yarn is indie dyed or hand dyed, I alternated skeins. I didn't bother to do so on the arms, but I did so when I have finished the yoke part and downwards on the body. And the color is super even, and yeah, I'm very happy with the outcome. And the way I alternated skeins, I did some kind of spiral alternation. Meaning that I knit one full round with one yarn, and then I skip 4 stitches. I just slip them over, and then I start with the next yarn. And then when I reach the part where I have the first yarn hanging loose, I just stop knitting 3 or 4 stitches before that point, and then I slip the stitches over from left to right until I reach the point where my previous yarn were. And then I continue knitting with that. That's perhaps a bit, I don't know if you could easily understand my explanation there, but I think you can Google helix knitting or spiral knitting, and then you will probably find a YouTube video or tutorial showing you how it's done. But the outcome of using that method is that then you are not having a one stripe or one transition stripe, you know, where you constantly change color or yarn. So that's a very nice method if you want to alternate skeins. So I have also completed a couple of pairs of socks, and I think I already completed this pair last time I put up an episode, but now I completed the larger pair as well. And these are going to be Christmas presents for my nephews, who are 7 and 5 years old. So this pair is for the younger nephew. It is really simple kind of socks with 2x2 ribbing. I have just knitted the plain stockinettes in the round, and then I did a fish lips kiss heel, which is one of my favorite heels to do. And then I just did my very standard toe with grafted, where I, Kitchener stitch together the last stitches like that, which makes the toe very neat and tidy. I love that finish. And I have been using Patons Kroy sock, and the color is called Singing the Blue Stripes. And I combined that self-striping yarn with, one colored Fabel, Drops Fabel, and the color is called Rust or 110. To make it easier for my nephews and their parents to see the difference between the pairs, I just changed up the way I did the contrasts. So this is for the 7-year-old, and then I did the contrast heel, still the fish lips kiss heel. And yeah. and I didn't bother to match up the stripes. So I really like these, and I have enough yarn for a pair for my son as well, so I will probably knit him a pair as well, because he is very fond of especially orange. This is not orange, it's rust or a golden brown, I would say. But yeah, he's really into colors. So I think these will be right up his alley as well. So these are washed and blocked, and I even used conditioner, you know, on them just to soften them up, because I'm not entirely sure if they are comfortable with you know, scratchy yarn. I don't think they are, but I guess they will have these socks above a thinner layer of wool socks, so it will probably be fine. But just because I'm giving them away and I wanted to, you know, increase the chances of them being used, I washed them and I put in hair conditioner to soften them up. And now they smell lovely as well. But I still need to weave in some ends. But that's it, and then they are absolutely complete. So happy that I have those Christmas presents almost completed. So yeah, I have another finished object, and that is my Lumpy shawl. And this shawl wasn't completely finished when I recorded the half episode last week. But now it is, and I am very happy about it. I'm so thrilled that I changed up my colors in last minute, so to speak. But I feel these colors are not really season appropriate. But when we are approaching spring, this will be perfect, because I'm feeling spring when I see this. Yeah, it is super long, and I haven't even blocked it yet. You see? So it's wider than my wingspan, and it's quite narrow, and that was what I was hoping for, because I really like this to be kind of a scarf shawl, if you know what I mean. I like it to be wrapped around my neck a couple of times, and that I can use it with a coat, and yeah, so super happy. And I will run through the colors once more. So this beautiful pale cream color with lots of speckles is Ancient Arts Yarns, and the colorway is called Little Wild Things, and this is the little nugget I have left. I used it with Tweedy Todd. This is merino sock, which is a merino nylon blend, and the color is called Gump. And my last color was Arwetta Classic, and the color is 334. And this is the nugget I have left. So I was quite close to run out of yarn, but I managed it. And you know, if you know this pattern very well, you will see that I did quite a few modifications. For starter, I didn't pay attention to you know which color was 1 through 3 or 4. I think the original pattern is calling for 4 different yarns, but I was quite determined from the start to just stick to 3 colors, and I think I was aiming for the green to be the center point at the beginning. But then I changed my mind and I went for the white one, and I got the tips from a viewer who was also partaking in the knit along, which we are currently having. It is ending on Friday, but you know, we have been knitting together the Lumpy space shawl these past 3 months. And one of the viewers who had been knitting this shawl before, she recommended us to do additional sections here. I think I was supposed to stop after this section here, and then the center part would be smaller, of course, but I added one like section here, and yeah, if you're not familiar with the pattern, it's probably not very easy to follow here, but basically this part is section 1, and then you knit the same section twice, this one and this one, and then you add them together while you knit the diamond in the middle. And you're supposed to stripe this outer section as well, but I figured I wouldn't be doing that, so I just used the plain, this blush color, and then I wanted to do something special about the eyelet rows, so I added in the pale color as well, just for the eyelets. It's not focusing. There we are. And yeah, I was supposed to do another of these eyelets. I was supposed to do another of these eyelet rows, but I didn't take the risk. I mean, the little nugget I have left, it was way too little to complete one eyelet row. Yeah. And then I was supposed to knit another row of garter stitch with the pale pink, but I ran out of yarn, or I had too small of an amount to complete one round. I don't know how many stitches I had on the needles at the end, but I believe it could be 400, 500, I don't know. It was a lot. So I just decided to call it a day, and I did a picot bind off with the green, and I think it's super nice. And this picot bind off, it took me 3 whole days worth of knitting to complete, so it was a lot of work. So I have been starting to sew together this one, the gap here. Well, you are actually supposed to knit the outer section of the shawl in the round, but I figured I wanted to do it back and forth, because then I could just knit stockinette all the time, and that's much faster for me than to purl. But then I need to sew together the raw edges here. So that is what I have left to do. I need to sew in some ends, and then I will give it a little bath and block it just slightly. I think the size is perfect just the way it is, so just even it out a little bit. and then it is complete. And I'm so happy that I managed to complete the shawl within my kind of time frame of the knit along. And I'm super pleased to see that some of you have completed your shawls as well. And I'm about to draw prizes. I didn't bring the prizes up here with me, but within the next episode, which will hopefully be up in not too long, I will draw prizes from the finished object thread on Ravelry. I have a Ravelry group for the podcast. It is called Ina Knits, and you can find it by searching the groups tab on Ravelry. So if you have knitted your lumpy space and you haven't posted a finished object picture in that thread yet, you have very little time to do so now. So I will close thread probably in the beginning of December, and I will draw a winner from the thread. I will draw one winner from the chatter thread as well. And I will draw one winner who used the hashtag lumpyspace_KAL on Instagram. And I will pop in a little snippet here about the prizes. Here are the prizes for the knit along. And the first one is a sock pattern called Honeycomb and Bees from the talented designer Katrine Skansberg. And the winner of the pattern will also receive 2 balls of Sterk, which is a beautiful alpaca merino nylon sock yarn that can be used for that sock pattern, together with a red Plystre Knitters bag, a project bag. And the second prize is 2 lovely skeins of fingering weight sock yarn from Showreel Studios, most generously donated by Carrie, who is Carrie Monster Knits on Instagram. And the third prize is also a 2 skeiner from Carrie. So good luck in the drawing. Okay, so I have one more finished knit. And it is actually a knit that has been completed for quite some time. I haven't knitted on it for a month actually. I think perhaps it's over a year ago that I completed the knitting on this blanket. But it hasn't been totally finished after all, because I had many ends to sew in, and I also wanted to finish it off with a border. So this is the blanket in question. It is my Cozy Memories blanket. So I guess you have seen many of these blankets around. They have been so popular to make, and I enjoyed making mine so very much. I think it took me a year, perhaps 2 years. I'm not sure. But this is kind of the reason why I started collecting mini skeins, and why I have been swapping minis for the past 2 years. And yeah, these scrappy looking knitting projects, they make me so happy to look at. I can't be depressed when I see something as colorful and, it's not pretty, but it's not, it's not ugly either. I guess it is pretty in my eyes. I can't express how happy I feel about my scrappy projects. They're like my little babies. Wow. So what I did, other than sewing in the ends, I decided to do a simple crochet border. Just the simplest kind of crochet border for 4 rows, I guess. And yeah, just use a charcoal grey that I had in my stash. And yeah, I'm happy with it. And now it is living here on the couch in my cabin. And it's absolutely perfect here. So yeah. I am planning to do another blanket. And oh, the light here is super bright now. I think we need to turn the camera a little bit. Okay. I am desperate about casting on another blanket. But I was at the same time super determined that I wanted to finish off this completely before I started a new one. I'm very proud about myself that I managed to just wait and finish. So yeah, I will cast on another of these kind of blankets, and I am planning to do larger squares with my next one. And I'm also thinking about doing the first half of the square, like the first 4 or 5 rows here, with a darker color, a dark solid color. In that way, and then you can do the rest in these scrap yarn colors. In that way, it will look like you have a border around every square. And I really enjoy that effect. I think it's beautiful. And my son, who is 5-year-old, he is really wanting one of these blankets for himself, and he has actually asked me if I could make one for him. So I think I will probably make one with his kind of colors. Well, he could easily adapt this one because he is very fond of every color of the rainbow right now. Yeah, but I will make him a version and just have it as a side project. And when I knitted this blanket, I had kind of a strategy that I use my minis in this blanket, and when I had completed one square, I crocheted the rest of the mini into my granny stripe blanket that I also completed last year. I think I show my granny stripe and this blanket in perhaps my very first episode. I think it was. And I really like that method of using up the scraps. So I have decided to do the same thing with my new blanket. But I will not be doing the granny stripe this time. I have been gifted a pattern for another crochet blanket, and that was called Show Off Your Colors, and that is a pattern by Andrea Delay. I'm sorry, I can't pronounce your name correctly. But that was a super nice blanket that I am very, very tempted to cast on. Do you cast on for a crochet project? I believe so. So that is my plan for December. At least one of them is to start another cozy, cozy memories blanket, and I will start another crochet blanket. And I am not, pressuring myself to do a square a day or anything, but I at least want to use my Advent minis that I received last year. And yeah, I will talk more about that towards the end of the episode. Yes, I have a couple of whips or knits on the needles. The first one is a super quick knit that I have been whipping up for, and it is going to be another Christmas gift. And it is this pair of socks, and they are ribbed. They are made out of DK weights or worsted weights. I don't know, is it? 95 meters per 50 gram. I guess it is a DK weight then, but they are knitting up so fast. I almost completed one sock last night. So it's a perfect knit for Christmas gifts. And I am knitting these for my mom. She actually have wished for a pair of warmer socks, thicker socks for Christmas. And that wish is one that I can grant. So that is why I'm knitting these for her. And yeah, I'm knitting in this marled yarn. It's a marled sock yarn. And in Norway we call it raggegarn. Ragger are the kind of thick wool socks that you have over your thinner wool socks, and some use it when they are inside their boots when they're going out, or you can just use them inside when you're going on the colder flooring. And this yarn in particular is from Sandnes. It is called Robust, and it is consisting of 40% wool, 38% cortel, and I believe cortel is another word of acrylic, and it's 22% nylon. So it's quite soft. So that's why I chose to knit my mother a pair out of this yarn, because she is a little bit picky when it comes to rustic wool. So yeah, a light grey color and a lilac-ish color. And I will definitely complete this toe today. And then I have another pair ready for Christmas! Yay! And that means that I can cast on for my Christmas socks. I haven't decided yet what yarn I will use for my Christmas socks this year, but they will happen for sure. So the minute I bound off my Arboreal sweater, I needed to cast on another sweater. And this sweater has not been on my knitting list, but a friend of mine, she has knitted herself one of these, and it is absolutely gorgeous. It is called the Tara-genser. Tara-genser or Tara pullover. It is a pattern by Arnhild SKatvedt, who is a Norwegian designer, and she also has an online shop where you can buy Isager garn, the Danish yarn brand. So I'm knitting this sweater out of 2 yarns held together with 1 strand of each, and it is the Isager Highland wool, which is a light fingering yarn, held together with Plum from Rauma, which is a thin silk mohair, and they are both a dark plum color. You can see that it's quite a bit darker and got more blue to it than my Arboreal red sweater. So I casted this on quite a while back. It was in the beginning of November, and yeah, this is how it's looking so far. So I just knitted the top, you know, the neck, and have started the increases. Right here is one of the increases for the arms, so it's a kind of a raglan increase, and obviously it's knit top down. So yeah, and this sweater is going to be so airy and warm and perfect, and I really love the fabric. It is like a cloud, and yeah, super nice. I have put this sweater on hold, mainly to focus on finishing those socks for Christmas and to finish my Lumpy space shawl. But now that they are all complete, I can pick this up again and just continue knitting. It is a very easy construction, and it's knitting up on needle 4.5 millimeter, and then it's going quite fast, you know. So that's that, and I have one more thing on the needles. I have several other things on the needles as well, but this is, you know, the things I've been working on since my past episode. So my son, he asked me if I could knit him something, and I figured I could knit him a new hat, because his existing, or the hat he's using right now, it's like a pixie hat, you know, when only the face is showing. So he has, you know, worn that pixie hat to death, and it's starting to unravel, and it's just holes in it, and he really deserves a new one. But he is starting school next year, so I figured maybe it will be kind of, he would find it a bit childish. You know, when he starts schools, everything changes, or many things change. So I thought I would knit him a different hat, not with this cowl part. So I found free pattern on Ravelry, and it is called Fitted Earflaps Hats, or Mimipita Fitted Earflap Hats. It's a free pattern on Ravelry, and it's for worsted weight. So, and mind you that my son has picked out these colors. Yeah, so I'm knitting with 2 strands of yarn, and he really wanted a bright colored hat, so he picked out these super bright colors. And these are all extra fine merino from Pickles that were lying in my stash together with this blue, grey blue one. And I have held the first part together with Sterk, it is called. It is with alpaca and nylon, so it's very strong and it's warm. So it's very nice constructed hat with a ribbing down here, and you do some kind of short rows which are super well explained in the pattern to create ear flaps. And yeah, then you continue with plain stockinette. So that's where I'm at. I think I'm knitting another couple of centimeters and then I will start decreasing for the crown. And I was thinking about making a marled hat all the way. It will be quite a transition here with the bright orange and the bright yellow and not the grey. But yeah, I will rip that back if it turns out just crazy. Yeah, so he has chosen the colors, I have chosen the pattern, and hopefully it will turn out the way he wants. And I'm planning to mix up the colors on the top and make a pom-pom. So that was all of my whips and my finished knits. I have been knitting quite a lot lately, and yeah, I'm in the mood for knitting, so to speak. I want to knit all the things, and sometimes I do struggle with, you know, what kind of project should I focus on, because I often have the urge or the need to cast on new things all the time, but I try to control myself and be reasonable, and then I can reward myself afterwards with casting on something new when I have finished the things that I have been working on too. So yeah, it's a struggle. Yes, I have some plans for Advent. I told you about my blanket plans. I also have plans to knit a pair of mittens, at least one pair of mittens. I saw that Bottelauget, or the Mitten Guild, you know, the group of mitten designers from Norway who have released or published the mittens from the Enchanted Forest book. They have come up with a mystery knit along for some Christmas mittens, and I couldn't help myself. I just had to buy this pattern, and I'm very excited to start knitting the first part of the mystery on Saturday, December 1st. The first part of the mitten pattern will be released. I'm not completely decided on my colors yet. I really wanted to use some of the gorgeous Selbu yarn that I bought in Selbu. So these colors are very Christmassy to me, and I am so hoping that it will be enough contrast between them. Oh, I need to check. This is DK weight. It might be too heavy of a yarn. But if I can use these balls, I will do so. I love grey and red. It's such a beautiful combination in my opinion. I also have plans to knit a cast on for another sweater, and that is this one. This is a pattern, it's called Tweedy. That is the name of this beautiful woman. She is a sports star here in Norway, and she is she's performing on the biathlon. Yeah, she's racing on skis with a gun, with a rifle. Biathlon? I think it's called biathlon, but I can't pronounce it apparently. So yeah, and she has her own knitwear collection, and she's collaborating with Sandnes Garn. So Sandnes is the publisher of the pattern, and it is knit up in some kind of alpaca wool. I will definitely not use alpaca wool, but I'm planning to knit this sweater and to finish it before I go to New York, because yes, I'm going to New York in January. That's amazing. The reason for that is that I have been wanting to visit New York again. I've been there once, many years ago. And I really wanted to go back and to, you know, discover all the yarn shops and discover that city once again. And I'm combining it with the Vogue Knitting Live show in January. That's, I mean, it's so, I'm so looking forward to that. And I'm going together with Daisy and Hilde, two knitting friends from work. And we are all decided to knit this sweater and to wear it to Vogue Knitting Live. And yeah, it's so exciting, I know. And Vogue Knitting Live is, I think it was in the end of January. It's just, you know, a month after Christmas, and that time will just fly by. And we will probably be there in no time. Anyway, the Tiril, or it's called Tiril Snøkrystall pullover. In Norwegian it's only called Snøkrystall. I haven't decided on the yarn yet, but I was thinking, wouldn't it be fun to have another knit along? I was so much enjoying the Lumpy Space knit along, and then I was watching Linda, who has the Hip Hip Barba Knit Stories podcast. She's living in Iceland, and she has a knit along going, and that knit along is called Everything Icelandic. So I thought about just shamelessly copying that knit along and translating it into Norwegian, you know. So I decided to have a knit along called Everything Norwegian. And then you can just knit any Norwegian design, meaning it's designed by a Norwegian person or company. Yeah, it could be anything from mittens to socks or to hats or sweaters or cardigans or whatever you want. And I'm thinking about starting on Saturday, December 1st. I know that a lot of you are knitting Skeinders mittens, are knitting maybe the mystery knit along that I am partaking with the Mitten Guild, Or maybe you want to knit a sweater like mine, or any other thing, the Setesdal, I don't know, the Marius sweater. There are so many lovely Norwegian designs, and so please join if you want to. I will not have very strict rules, so if you have something on your needles already, please just join us, and I will open up threads in my Ravelry group. Even though I haven't been noticing that a lot of you are not using the Ravelry groups anymore. It's not very much like activity, but I am not at the moment very interested in opening up a Facebook group, because I'm not using Facebook very much myself. So I will just stick to Ravelry for now. I will probably make a hashtag, so you can, of course, share your project on Instagram if you like. And yeah, it will just be a fun, knit together thing, and it will run for December and January, at least, I think. So yeah, that was all that I wanted to share with you with regard to my knitting plans. And I had plans to show you some acquisitions, but I noticed that my episode is already turning out quite long, so I think I will save my acquisitions and my yarn purchases for the next episode. I hope that you have a lovely end of November, and that you have been getting through that dark month. I'm so thankful for all of you who made my November much more pleasurable and enjoyable and nice. I don't know if it's because of good karma or what it is, but the weather has been remarkable during this past month. It has been sunny almost every day, and that never happens in November, so it has been almost no rain. It has just been nice, and even though it is dark, that's the nature of the season. So November of 2018 has been, if not the very best, it has been one of the absolute best Novembers of my life. So very, very grateful for that. So that's that. I wish you all a very, very nice start of December and happy knitting. I hope that you are having a relaxed start of December and not stressed out and rushing around, and that you take time to just sit down and enjoy and relax as well. And I will see you in my next episode in December. Bye for now!